friends, and welcome to a special mini story time with Miss San from Gra Creations. I'm so happy to be with you here today. Today we are going to do a little special story time for Pioneer Day, which in Utah, Idaho, it's celebrated on July 24th, which is tomorrow. So we've got our Pioneer bonnet on today. Thank you, Colleen, for loaning this to me so that I could wear this fabulous bonnet. I love it so much. All right, so if we're ready, we're going to exercise a little bit differently today. We're going to do a Pioneer song while we exercise. So I need everyone up on their feet, standing straight and tall, because we are going to walk in place, all right? We're going to walk a lot because guess what? Pioneer children sang as they walked. All right, so that's our song, is Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. And we're going to sing that twice, and then we're going to sing they washed at springs. So we're going to stop walking and we're going to wash, and worked and played, and Sundays they camped and read and prayed. Week after week, they sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. All right, do you think you can do that? I think you can too. All right, so up on your feet, straight and tall, and let's sing some Pioneer Children. Ready? Walking. Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. They washed at streams and worked and played. Sundays they camped and read and prayed. Week after week they sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. Do you want to do that one more time? This time we're just going to walk around the room. All right, you have my permission. We're going to do a follow the leader. So pick the tallest person, and that tallest person in the room is going to be your leader. So let's follow the leader, and we're going to sing as we walk and walk and walk. I think you can handle it. Have we lined up? Are we ready to rock around the room? Just keep walking and sing loud. Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. Keep walking. They washed at streams and worked and played. Sundays they camped and read and prayed. Week after week they sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. Do you think you could have been a pioneer child? I know I couldn't have. Whew. But maybe you think you could. So let's learn a little bit more about our pioneer ancestors. We're going to read parts of You Wouldn't Want to Be an American Pioneer by Jacqueline Morley and illustrated by David Antrim. So, first off, I want to show you the timeline, all right? So, in 1801, the Louisiana Purchase took place, and it was a purchase from the United States, from France to the United States. So the United States bought a huge chunk of property. And after we bought the Louisiana Purchase, then these two guys over here, Lewis and Clark, went on an expedition. And this expedition lasted for a few years. We know that Sacagawea was their main guide, and she helped them make it to the West Coast and back again. What an amazing woman she was. So after the Lewis and Clark expedition, then in 1811, John Jacob Astor established a trading post in Oregon. So then, in about the 1840s, it became popular to travel across the West because John Fremont mapped it. So right here we've got John Fremont, he's mapping the United States, and then it takes off. We all know that 1849 was a big rush to California because of one particular special metal. Does anyone remember what it is? That's right, gold! So if you've been panning for gold lately, know that that is because of in 1848 gold was discovered in California, so the 49ers so 1849 to 1850 was a massive push west to California for gold. And then there was also the Latter-day Saint Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, trekked across to Utah, Idaho, Nevada, and parts of Arizona. So that's where they were traveling to. And then, of course, there was the steady trail to Oregon. The big trek west that we're talking about with the pioneers and the ox carts and the hand carts, that all pretty much ended in 1869 when the first United States transcontinental railroad was completed. And if you would like to see where the two lines meet, that is in Utah. So you can head on up to Utah for the Golden Spike. So you can see where the trains met and the United States was then united, truly. All right, so let me show you a map. So these are kind of the treks and the trails that everyone took on their trip. And what you would pack is whatever could fit in your wagon or your hand cart. Hand carts were significantly smaller because, as you can tell by the name, hand cart, you would pull up, you would push them, you would stand, there was a big bar, and a couple of you would stand at that bar and you would just walk and walk and walk. So you would only take the necessities and hopefully enough food to make it across the trail because there weren't very many places to stop along the way. For the Utah trek, winter quarters was kind of like your last outpost before you really started going. And these journeys lasted a long time, months, in fact. For the ox carts, they would go at about 2 miles an hour. All right. So that's pretty slow. And you had to start your journey at a specific time because if early snows happened, you were in big trouble. So there wasn't much between the Mississippi River and the coast. Like you had to, you really had to work really hard to make it along the way. So there were a lot of threats from bison and from Native Americans. And so you had to, and then food and water were a big issue. So let's see, I wanted to read just a little bit more. So you had to reach the West Coast by October before bad weather sets in and snow blocks the Rockies. After the Rockies are parched, dusty plains, more mountains, and the Columbia River. With rapids and a gorge, you must navigate by raft. If you don't drown in the Columbia, you might die from one of the illnesses that plagued the pioneers. Months of eating food lacking in vitamin C causes scurvy. with the exhaustion, bleeding gums, achy limbs that disease bring, deadly mountain fever is carried by the blood-sucking tick. So we all know to be careful when we're hiking in the mountains, even today, that there are still ticks, and so we want to wear long pants and cover our legs so that we don't get ticks, even today. But, I mean, I love this illustration. We've got wolves and we've got pioneers. So if you want to learn more about what life was like as a pioneer, check out my blog post that coordinates with this little mini story time. And I hope you've learned a little bit more about the pioneers. For lots of fun details, be sure to check out this amazing book, You Wouldn't Want to Be an American Pioneer. It's a good book. I highly recommend it. And for fun coloring pages, check out Western Pioneers by Dover Publishing. It's got just amazing illustrations for you to color. Isn't that fabulous? And at the bottom, it also tells you about, like, you know, the various portions as well. So it's got some history in it too. And we like history. History is good. All right, so thank you for joining me for story time. And let's finish off with another round of Pioneer Children. So up on your feet. And let's walk some more so that we can kind of get a feel for what it was like to be an American pioneer. Are you ready? Are we going to follow each other around in a circle? Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. Pioneer children sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked. They washed at streams and worked and played. Sundays they camped and read and prayed. Week after week they sang as they walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week for International Friendship Day. Have a beautiful day. Bye.